Good morning, everybody. Yeah, good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to the Two Dum Yinzers show. This is episode 542. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. Try to go
How?
with a little purple lighting and it didn't work in the background, so
All right.
change it back to this.
Derpy, how you be?
Derpy!
I'm good. I'm good.
Derpy.
What happened? What happened yesterday? Is everything all right with you?
Yeah, everything's all right. I just had to leave unexpectedly. I apologize.
No, you're all right. Was it an
You're good.
emergency?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Was
an
it an emergency,
emergency
Derpy?
of. It was an emergency.
Okay. Derpy was texting me this morning about a dome. What was going on with you about a dome this morning, Derpy?
I don't know. Just
He doesn't
everyone's
know.
getting a dome. I feel like we should get a dome.
You really want a dome?
Who's getting a dome? Because yeah, I heard something about like Kansas City might be getting a dome if they get a new stadium.
You know what? I don't even want a dome. I mean, if they got a dome, I wouldn't I wouldn't boycott or anything. But
No.
I don't understand. I think that we got something special here, and it's a good thing to come to the north to play when it's cold. And I don't know. I guess a dome would be nice.
It'd be nice to go watch as a fan because I hate going to the cold games anymore. F that.
Well, you know what? I mean, it really matters to the people that are making the money. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I what do I care? Because you're going to be able to do things in Pittsburgh, at the times that you wouldn't be able to do things in
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, and I get that, but
Yeah,
that
it
really
makes
affects me
sense.
none. I kind of like things the way that they are. Um, what else? Oh yeah, Elon Musk, this guy. He's putting spaceships into space and neuro linking people's brains to computers. Can he just take a moment and invent a USB phone charger where the first time you stick it in, you stick the thing into the box that it actually goes in the right way? I've never, ever, 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 ever plugged in the wire that goes from the wall to the box, or you know what I'm saying, the wire
Yeah.
in the box. Never,
Uh-huh.
ever, 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 ever once stuck that thing in and it went in the right way. Ever. I could promise you, every time I ever went to put that into that box, it was the opposite way every single time.
That's not good. There well, you can look at the thing and at your charger and line it up, and it goes right in the first time.
I mean, you can't always. If you're in a hurry or you're in a room that's not well lit, you just want to push it. Like anything else,
I
you
get
should
it.
just be able to
Yeah.
push it in. We're putting people in the fucking in outer space here. I mean, come on, let's take a minute to fix this problem.
Ryan's ready to burn down the world over this.
I just think it's fucking retarded, man.
Oh,
For one,
you're in a
it's
mood.
for one, it's
You
retarded. It's two different pieces. I mean,
you
whatever happened
you,
to the day that you get something that has a plug and you just plug
you
it in?
oh
Now you got to
Ryan
plug. Now you got
Ryan
to
did not have the
now
shower.
you got to plug the plug together before you plug the plug in. What
No,
a weird thing.
we can tell you did not have the shower coffee combo today.
I didn't have the shower coffee
I can
combo.
tell you're agitated, you're frustrated. I can tell it right now.
Mm. Yesterday we had Ron from the board that we always talk on the board with from Florida, from the Panhandle of Florida. He was on the show visiting us yesterday.
Yep.
We were, like I said, experiencing a couple or experimenting with a couple things. So at any point, if anybody does feel they want to come on the show and talk as a call-in, feel free to message us and we will try to we're going to make that happen for you. We have to do a couple things on our end, unfortunately, at this moment. So that's what it is. But we're moving in that direction. Like I had a couple ideas,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I want to talk with you first before I lay it
Yeah.
out. So I liked it. I like being able to get to talk to people, and it's a lot of fun having people in the on the board during the show. And I think we could continue to do some cool things with that. And as I said, we'll
Yeah.
eventually get to the point where we'll be able to take your phone calls. But I got a couple ideas, so we'll talk about that later, Mike.
Yeah.
But I guess we could talk some sports today.
Yes.
Um, First off, I want to say that DraftKings. I don't know if anybody saw this. DraftKings Their AI predicted the next 10 Super Bowl winners if you guys are interested.
Huh.
AI's
Let's do this.
DraftKings AI predicted the next 10 Super Bowl winners. This year, it has the Kansas City Chiefs winning.
Derpy.
Next year, the San Francisco 49ers.
Hmm.
The following year, the Buffalo Bills. The following year, the Kansas City Chiefs again.
Oh.
Year number 5, Dallas. Year number 6, Detroit. Year number 7, Kansas City again.
Ooh.
Year number 8, and this is where it gets interesting. Year number 8, Chicago.
Wow.
According to DraftKings AI. Number 9, the ninth year on the prediction is the New York Jets.
I don't see that.
And finally, the 10th year in 2033, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
You know what? I'll take it. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
We get one in a decade. I'll take it.
So here you go. You got the DraftKings AI predicts the next 10 Super Bowl winners. Guys, Kansas City, San Francisco, Buffalo, Kansas City, Dallas, Detroit, Kansas City, Chicago, the New York Jets, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, yeah, that's not just any AI. That's the DraftKings AI.
They want people to put all that futures money on there.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't blame them.
So
No,
there you go. That's as you said, I mean, at least we're mentioned on the list. I like that.
yeah, 10 years
Right.
to win a Super Bowl. I'll still be alive.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. Not so sure about you two, but I know I'll be alive. It's neck and neck with Ryan and I because we have about the same diet.
So the big story yesterday was a non-story. The story that everybody's following, everybody's talking about, everybody's speculating was a tweet by Brian McFadden.
Yeah.
And the tweet says, "Ooh, OOOOH. Omar is working. The Steelers are very close to landing a significant playmaker. Stay tuned."
Yeah.
Bryant McFadden. So, Mike, a lot of the trolls are on saying, "Oh, it's probably his cousin. It's probably Patrick
Yeah, I saw
Peterson."
that. Yeah.
But then they came back and said it's not Patrick Peterson from the source from Brian
Yeah.
McFadden. He said it's not Patrick Peterson, which would have drove me nuts if that would have been the case.
Oh,
I mean,
if that
come
would have
on.
been the case, I would have killed someone.
So, Mike, who do you? I mean, what do you make of all this?
I don't know. I don't see Brian McFadden as a troll, as like an AB trolling. So,
Right.
like, did he hear something from someone that he still talks to inside the organization? Because I know we're still like teams are still calling San Francisco about Debo, about Ayuk. You know, there's still teams calling Denver about Sutton. It, but that's about all I've been able to parse too. I've been able to see like who he was talking about in particular. You know, the rumors were going crazy too about Devontae Adams from the Raiders, and the Raiders shut that down
Yeah,
immediately, going, no, he's not going anywhere. So then, you know, you start getting okay, well, what team that just drafted receivers or have a lot of receivers that they signed from free agency on their roster already that are good, but just got bumped down the depth chart? Now I'm hearing John Mitchell the third from the Texans, who would have been a first round pick the year he came out, but he had a knee injury and then had cancer on top of it, but came back healthy. But then he got bumped down the depth chart with the emergence of Tank Dell, Nico Collins, and now Stephon Diggs. So I don't know who it is. There's so many names being thrown out there by people in the sports media and fans too. So it's anyone's guess who he was talking about.
if it's any, if we could go by any history of what's going on, it's probably somebody from the Falcons or Tennessee.
Drake London is coming to Pittsburgh. I will take
I
that.
mean, come on.
I'll take it.
Um,
Getting Julio, or who signed with Tennessee? The big receiver. It wasn't Julio Jones. It was what's his
I don't know.
name? I can't.
So we know no more today than we did yesterday. I kept checking all day, and then, last night around I don't know midnight, maybe it was like 11 hours since the
Yeah.
initial post. I thought, okay, nothing's going to come out today, but come on. we're going to do a couple things today. We're going to look at the roster. We're going to look at the depth chart of what we have at this point. We're going to talk about some other things. The Pirates are very, 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 very bad. This team,
Yeah.
we'll get to them shortly, but here we are at this point in the season. This point last season, the team was 20-8, rounding out April.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, rounding out April, they're 14-16. How you improve your team and get worse, I'll never know. Maybe it's a little maybe they're just missing some G1 Bay, Mike, who is in the minors right now. But you know what? G1 Bay in the lineup 20-8. O'Neal Cruz, Michael A. Taylor, Jared Jones,
Yep.
everybody else 14-16. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll get back
Uh,
to them shortly. We are going to talk a lot of football today, Mike, a lot of Steelers, a lot of things going on. Like I said, we're going to go over the roster here shortly and look at their depth chart and look at top to bottom what the Steelers are working with. But a few things before we get into that. The Philadelphia Eagles, Mike, was very interested in Troy Fatanu,
yeah.
which makes me think we did something good
Yeah.
because the
Right.
Philadelphia is a good drafting team. And look at the guys they got. They got Cooper DeJean and the what's the cornerback from
Quinion Mitchell.
Quinion Mitchell. So if you get Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean and you're saying, oh man, I wish I would have got Fatanu,
Yeah.
you did something right.
You know,
So
yeah.
this guy could have very well been on the Philadelphia Eagles, making their offensive line better. So you know what, we should be thankful that we got this guy. I'm happy, Mike. I couldn't be happier
Me.
about the Troy Floyd Fatanu move.
Oh
And
yeah.
here's the thing about building your offensive line too. Once you get that stabilized, then you could do other things down the road in the future drafts, like maybe consider sexy picks and guys that are going to supplement your team in other ways. But I'm satisfied. I'm thrilled right now with what's going on with this offensive line, Mike. If things work out the way that the way that the team wants them to, this is going to be this offensive line, these guys right here. This is going to be your line for the next quite a few years.
Yeah. Yeah. And like the pick later on in the draft too, with the guy oh, what's his name? That fourth round pick. James Daniels' contract's up at the end of this year. So maybe, this is the line we have, and then he comes in next year and someone's been around, comes right in, you don't miss a beat. And like we've talked about before, Ryan, is the continuity of the offensive line. That's what we've been talking about for what 2 3 years. This year three going on, us talking about the continuity of an offensive line.
Right.
And that's why, yesterday we were talking about, like, I think it's really important that this line, they figure out their best five, and those are the ones that are together from OTAs till opening day. And that's
Yeah.
why someone like Fatano and Frazier have to step in immediately and play.
And I think that they will. I think that
Yeah.
everything with our line is going to go well. It's I got to tell you this again. We will be going over the depth chart, but I was going over. This may be one of the better Pittsburgh Steelers teams I've seen in a long
Oh
time
yeah.
by name. But again, we'll go over that here shortly, guys. A few other things I do want to go over before we get to that point. Peter O'Reilly, the NFL's vice president for league events, says that Pittsburgh is on the short list for the 2026 draft, guys. Of course, we've seen the success that went down up in Detroit. They broke records. I think that they were close to 1 million people. Maybe they even reached 1 million. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at one point, it was like a 500,000. The next point it was like 800,000.
Yeah.
And so you see all the things, all the, and it was an all weekend thing. So imagine the
Yeah.
things that could do for your city, economically and exposure wise and things like this. So, as I said, Peter O'Reilly, the NFL's vice president for the league events, says Pittsburgh is on the short list. Mike, you think we land the NFL draft in 2026?
Um, I think so. Yeah. My God, just the history of the team alone says, we should have it here. Um, you look what we did for the NCAA tournament, the turnout that they had there. This is a sports town. Heinz Field is packed when the Steelers are good. You know, some of the highest rated games on television are Steeler watch games. This is a football crazy town. And yeah, I think we would have it. Maybe like the infrastructure, Pittsburgh's not laid out the best city wise compared to some of these other places that are flat. Pittsburgh's hilly, but they would make it work. There's plenty of hotels in the area, and depending on where they have it, you know, it will be a good area. I just hope all the construction's taken care of. All the bridge closings that we have down there might be an issue. That might be the only issue is like the infrastructure getting to and from the event. So it's this time of the year. It's crazy construction in Pittsburgh. That's one of the things we have to take into account for this. But I think support wise, the local fans and then people coming into Pittsburgh, it would be crazy. It's just gonna be how is that construction gonna limit? Is that gonna be what kicks us in the ass? Is
Derpy,
PennDOT gonna fuck us over again?
Derpy, if this goes down, let's just say 2026 comes around and the Steelers get awarded the draft. Do you make your way? Because just asking average people,
Yes,
you would go.
I would 100% go.
Because that's what it comes down to is asking average people. Of course, your fanatics are going to get down there. You're going to get as Mike said, you're going to get people coming from out of town. They're going to fill space. But at the end of the day, it's what's the average person going to do? What's the average
Yeah,
person from the Pittsburgh region going to do? Are they going to make their way down? Are they going to go support this? Are they going? That's the question to me is what the average
yeah,
Pittsburgh Pittsburgher would do if we got the draft. I hope they would. I hope we get
yeah.
on there and get a million people if we could. But they
Well,
make their way down for parades. They make their way down
yeah,
for games. I don't understand and I don't see why this would be any different, Mike.
yeah. I can see some people not wanting to go because they know how the traffic is during a normal game. No, you get the draft and people coming from outside, not just the city, but outside the area who normally don't travel downtown Pittsburgh, and that's hard to get around. I think some locals would stay away, but your diehard football fans would definitely make it in. I would even make it in. I hate going. I love Pittsburgh. I love going down there, but I hate going down there dealing with the traffic. Even I would fight the traffic to go to watch the NFL draft live. I'm
Right.
hoping, yeah. I think it would have a good turnout. I think Detroit turnout, it might be hard to top if
Oh
for
yeah,
some of
for
these
sure.
next cities, man, because they've been starved for any sort of positive attention. They finally had that winning season, making it to the playoffs.
Maybe you and Derpy could get a room or something. You can stay down there and
No, Derpy
make
can
a
get his own room. I
make a
mean, I
weekend of
mean,
it.
I mean, look at me. Look at me.
Yeah, you
My
guys
my
could
game,
share.
my game is
You're the
going to be on
precious.
point down there.
Mike's precious.
All these, I'll be flirting down there. I'll go home to my room and cry alone. Okay. I don't want Derpy around when I cry. Okay.
I could see that.
No, I'd be like, oh, why are all these people here? I want to go home.
CJ Stroud thought the AFC North was the toughest
Yep.
division in the league last year. Micah Parsons says otherwise. For some reason thinks that the NFC East should be in
Yeah.
this category.
Oh,
And a
oh,
division that has the
Oh,
Washington
yeah.
Commanders, a division that has the New York
Yeah.
Giants.
Yeah.
This Micah Parsons
Yeah.
delusional. This is about the
Yes.
third pick.
Yeah. I was going to say, to quote CJ Stroud, you delusional.
Did he really say that?
Oh, he said it to his face. He's like, Micah, you delusional.
Well, I mean, come on. The last three stories we talked about Micah Parsons have been
Yeah.
it's been crazy shit
It's
where
been crazy. Yeah. Like,
he's been he's been going
yeah.
against the word or whatever is being said and putting out just crazy claims.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I'm gonna say no, like Micah, he was in his defense a little because I'm gonna defend him because he is a Penn State guy. I
But
think he was confused by the wording of the question. He was like, because he was saying going into the season, Washington was supposed to have a good season, the Giants were supposed to have a good season, and then Stroud was like, yeah, that was before the season started. Y'all ain't that. It was after the season played. The AFC North was the best division in football, and
the
going
AFC
from
North was the strongest division going into the season
yeah,
last year, if you
yeah,
remember.
right.
yeah. Even we were like projected as the weak link, but still projected to have a winning record.
I gotta say that I keep seeing that we're projected to be in last again this year in the
I'll
division.
take it.
I just don't understand what and I get it. I
Yeah.
understand, but at the end of the day, I don't get what people would look at this team
What are
and
you
say,
looking
"Wow,
for?
you know what? This is the
Wait,
worst
right?
team in that division." And if you know what, if this was the worst team in this division, which I don't think that they are, how good would that have to make all the other teams? I don't think Cincinnati's that good. I don't think Cleveland's. I mean, their defense is good, but how long could the Cleveland Browns realistically continue to carry on the way that they have? I
Hmm.
don't have any faith in that franchise whatsoever until they prove
None.
anything. I I just think that Mike, how is it a thing to just be like, well, you know what, as you would with the Yankees, you know what, the Yankees are in last place in that division, and it's just you kind of find that team that's always at the top and you just have fun with it. I mean, maybe that's what's going on, but I can't possibly understand how, after looking at all these additions that this team made, after how this team went 10-7, after how this team went 5-1 in the division, 5-1 in the division, and the only loss that the Steelers had in the division was a 3-point loss to the Browns, which came on a end of the game a field goal to win. Mike, I can't even grasp as a football fan, not even as a Steeler fan, as a football fan, what would strum that opinion up for people that this team right here, this Pittsburgh Steelers team, is the worst team in the division.
I don't see it either. We excuse me, we've completely upgraded the quarterback room from top to bottom,
We've
starter to
upgraded the whole
backup.
team.
Only downside is the receiver, but it's still better than what
And once it gets
Cleveland and
solved, which it's
Baltimore.
going to get solved, we're going to be in a
Yeah,
better position in that. I
yeah,
mean, unless
yeah.
they go out and
Like
get somebody really bad, but
yeah, like
I
what if
wouldn't
the
want Deontay Johnson back for anything.
no what if the Bengals done this offseason to go, wow, look out there, they're gonna be a
Nothing.
juggernaut. Now, yeah,
They've done
nothing.
nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna get a Joe Burrow back healthy, but like you said, Ryan, like he's only had really one full healthy season.
Yeah,
Granted, they went to the Super Bowl, like you said, but still, he hasn't proved that he can be that durable. Cleveland, what's going on up there? Deshaun Watson, for about 5 games looked like he was rounding in the form and then got hurt, but was he hurt enough to be out the whole year? Is he milking it because he's getting a guaranteed contract? That defense is another year older. Are they still going to be as good as they were as they were? Baltimore, they had some nice splash additions. I had a really good draft too, but how long are they going to be able to keep playing at that high level? Is Lamar gonna? I hope for the league that his passing stayed the way it did, but I hope for us he kind of reverts back to what he was the year before, the lower completion percentage. So, but even in their free agency outside of Henry, it doesn't wow me. So
Right.
for us to be here, no, I would put us, number 2, number 3, fighting out with Cleveland, chasing Baltimore. But I think we would right now. I think we're the clear number 2 in the division.
and again, we win that division 5-1 last year, and
Yeah,
yet you don't move up. And
yeah,
someone would argue, you beat the number one team twice.
yeah, yeah. We know how to stop Lamar. We know how to stop Derrick Henry.
I'm very underwhelmed by Lamar Jackson. I don't see how this guy's been the MVP of the league two
Yeah,
times, the best player in the league 2 times. I don't see it. Maybe at some point in his career he'll convince me, but Mike, I don't see
yeah.
it.
Especially when we play him, we dominate him. And then
Yeah,
when playoffs come around, he disappears. He's kind of like a Kirk Cousins. He'll get you there, but right now he's showing that he can't get you over the hump.
I agree. Um, Also, Mike Derpy filled me in on this. He said on NFL Today on CBS, Boomer and Phil are gone. Phil
Yeah,
Sims and Boomer are gone. They added Matty Ice. The CBS crew is James Brown, Nate Burleson, Coach Cower still in there, JJ Watt, and Matt Ryan. Mike, the twin white haired quarterbacks from the '80s are gone.
good, because those guys scared me. Every time I turned on my TV, I'm like, oh, there's just something about them that gave me the heebie-jeebies. Not
Yeah,
personal, guys. I look at them, I'm like, are they gonna like try and like cut my kidneys out? Leave me in a
probably.
bathtub? There's something about this too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't care.
Like these halftime shows and pregame shows. I don't watch them at all anymore. I'm just like annoyed with all of them. They all like still act like they did like 20 years ago and say the same inside jokes from 20 years ago. Just not me anymore. I just don't got it in me.
Pittsburgh Steelers was reported on social media yesterday that no Heisman Trophy winner has ever played for the Steelers, which would be interesting if that would have been the truth. I
Yeah.
looked into it, and there were three. Granted, the last one was 1954, was Johnny Latner. 1950, Leon Hart. In 1946, Doc Blanchard were all
Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winners that all played for the Steelers. So, you see how these rumors get started and people
Yeah.
talk, and then it's a fact because that's what they've seen. And
Yeah.
but
Well,
we in fact did have three Heisman Trophy winners on the Steelers, Mike.
like see, do those count or not? Because it's kind of like the Browns NFL championships.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Right.
pre NFL merger, pre
I don't
modern
I
day
don't usually
Super Bowl
count
era.
anything before 1967. I
Yeah,
just
but
don't.
before the Super Bowl era, nothing counts.
Nope.
That
I
because
agree.
before that was two different leagues.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
and anything to fuck over Cleveland.
Like you had mentioned earlier, you mentioned Tank Dell, who
Yeah.
was shot in
Oh,
Florida yesterday. Was sustained a minor wound. He's going to be all right.
yeah,
But Tank Dell, I mean, come on, this
yeah,
dude could have, getting
yeah,
shot and shit. He could have been dead.
yeah. He was out there. He saw like a kerfuffle start, and he starts to walk away and pulling out his camera to record, and then got shot. People don't pull your cameras out; just run.
Yeah, get the fuck
Because
out
if
of
he
there.
would
What are
have
you
probably
doing?
kept
Run.
walking and not took time to get found, he probably would get out there. Not the victim blame, but just run. It's
It's on
shitty too. I
victim
mean,
blaming. It's fucking stupid. Get the fuck
yeah,
out of there.
I
Somebody's
don't know. I'm not
shooting.
gonna. I'm not gonna
Come
lie.
on,
I probably would have been filming it too. The
bro.
fight going off.
That's the
Hell yeah.
dumbest thing you
But
could ever do.
yeah, but then
You
the
get the
guns come
fuck out
out.
of town when the bullets are flying, man.
Yeah. Glad he's okay because that dude is a damn good receiver. He was exciting to watch last year before he got hurt.
um, let's go over the. Am I going to go over the roster?
Yeah.
This is going to be what the Steelers have going on at the moment, and this is going to be their depth chart as well as their roster. So if I could just pull it up here just a
Yeah.
moment, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pulling up mine on ESPN. Who you got?
I'm not telling.
Oh, that's fine. That's fair.
All right. So what I got, guys, I'm going to give
Keep your
you the
secrets.
therapy. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, I'm doing this for you. I thought of you whenever I was coming when I was thinking this idea. So as of right now, this is what our team looks like, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers of the 2024 year. Your offense looks like this, and this is how it's rung up as the depth chart. So we have a quarterback, Russell Wilson, tight end, Pat Fryermuth. Your offensive line looks like this. The center is going to be Zach Frazier. Your guards are going to be Ciamalo and James Daniels. Your tackles are going to be Broderick Jones and Troy Fatanu. Your starting running back is going to be Najee Harris. And your receivers are going to be George Pickens and Van Jefferson at this moment. And your slot receiver at ATM is going to be Roman Wilson. Let's look beyond that to people that are going to be behind them.
Yeah.
Guys, here are your second teamers on the depth chart for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Your quarterback, guys, is going to be Justin Fields. The second string running back is Jalen Warren. Tight end, Darnell Washington. Your offensive line will look like this. Your center is going to be Nate Herbig. Your guards, Spencer Anderson and rookie Mason McCormick. And your tackles, Dan Moore Jr. and Dylan Cook. Your starting receivers on the depth chart are going to be Denzel Mims, Quez Watkins, and in the slot, Calvin Austin III. If you want to go to the third layer on the depth chart, Kyle Allen is going to be the quarterback, your third string quarterback. Connor Hayward, your third string tight end. Your third string offensive line, center Ryan McCollum. Your guards, Anderson Hardy, I'm sorry, and Joey Fisher. And then your tackles are going to be Tyler Beach and Kellen Deesh. Your wide receivers are Des Fitzpatrick, Deuce Watts, and Kellen Harris is the slot guy. Mike, also, your four-string quarterback at the moment is John Rice Plumlee. I got to see him play a little bit more from UCF. He runs. He's one of these guys that runs a lot. He's nice, man. And there's a couple other guys like Delwan Edwards.
Yeah.
We just got in a draft. He falls fifth in the depth chart, a couple things like that.
Yeah.
But that's your offense, guys. Until you get yourself a receiver for that receiver too.
Yeah.
It's not a bad offense, Mike.
No.
If you look at the starters from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, Najee Harris, Pat Fryermuth, Pickens, Van Jefferson, Roman Wilson, and then the new offensive line.
Yeah,
Like I
I
said,
like it.
you get one of these big name wide receivers as people are speculating and
Mhm.
plug it in that Van Jefferson spot. This defense, I mean, this offense is pretty good.
Yeah, I like it. And like speaking of like a experienced receiver, I think Darby might have brought him up yesterday, or it might have been Pete, or not Pete, but Ron Navy and Jordan Dickerson on from the fan brought up too. DJ Moore from the Bears. Can we hit that well again? Fleece them. You get
I don't
someone
think the
like
Bears are
that.
going to let him go. I think the Bears are
Yeah.
feeling awfully good with
But
what they
yeah,
have
have
going
like a
on.
a big three wide receiver set. But if they want to get rid of someone, take him. But yeah, that starting group I like a lot. It's that number two receiver. You get that upgraded. That's a really good offense right there.
And they have a fullback named Jack Coletto.
Yeah, I don't think Jack Colletto gonna be making the 53 man.
All right, let's go to the defensive side of the ball. At the moment, on your depth chart, the Pittsburgh Steelers starting defense looks a lot like this, guys. Your defensive end. Let me see how I'm going to do this. All right, let's start with the nose tackle right in the middle.
Yep,
We have Keanu Benton.
beast.
You have your Cam Hayward and Larry Ogunjobi on the line. Your linebackers, TJ Watt on the left outside, Alex Highsmith on the right outside, Landon Roberts and Patrick Queen in the middle.
Solid.
Nasty.
The secondary, Joey Porter Jr., left corner. Dante Jackson hit right corner. Minka Fitzpatrick at free. And Deshaun Elliott at strong.
Solid secondary.
I mean, here's the thing, though. We had a hard time shutting down the Bills in the playoffs
Yeah,
when it came down to it, and they were able to
yeah.
pass some more. Did we do enough to be able to stop that kind of attack?
No.
In other words, Patrick Queen's going to certainly help in the run game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he could contribute to the passing game as well. I mean, you lose Levi Wallace, you add Dante Jackson. I mean, are we really better off this year, Mike, on defense? Or are we in better shape to stop that kind of attack that we faced last year in the playoffs, and we're going to face this year in the playoffs, and we're going to face next year in the playoffs, no matter who you play, because this is what you're up against. Yeah. Did this defense make enough improvements, Mike, to make a difference come January playing against one of these high-powered offenses?
On the back end in the secondary, I don't think so, especially starter wise. If we would have had another starter plus Dante Jackson, I think it would be a whole hell of a lot better. Or Simmons is still out, or Justin. What's that? That safety we want. Simmons is out there, a big time safety derby. That's if we can get him into that mix, I think that secondary will be a whole hell of a lot better, and I'll be more comfortable going up against a team like Denver or a team like Kansas City. Not Denver, the Buffalo.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. I forgot who we were talking about. And I looked at ESPN and I was like, oh, Denver's the first team I saw. So my bad. But no, if we can get, one more key guy in that secondary,
like we said yesterday, what if you get Cam Sutton and you throw him back in there for
I'd be
some
a whole hell of a lot more comfortable because you get
I
him
would
back
too.
into the slot where he's comfortable playing.
And that's like people are talking Patrick Peterson. People are saying he'll probably be back as a body, but you know what? I would rather have Cam Sutton. The guy's playing good football. The guy left. He went and played good football, and and he unfortunately got himself into some shit. But I would love to have Cam Sutton back on this in the secondary. Mike, let me go to the second tier. We're going through the depth chart of the Pittsburgh Steelers at the moment. This is what your second team looks like for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Mm-hmm. On the line, they have Isaiah Loudermilk, Montravius Adams, and Dean Lowry. Mike, are your three number 2 defensive linemen?
Not bad. Nice rotation.
The next level, you have your left outside linebackers, Kyron Johnson and Nick Herbig. In the inside, you have Cole Holcomb and Peyton Wilson, which that's looking pretty nice.
That's looking a whole hell of a lot better than last year.
And this is your second string secondary.
Yeah.
You ready, Derpy?
Yes.
Trenton Thompson at strong safety. DeMonte KZ at free. Corey Trice Jr. at right corner. And Ryan Watts at left corner.
This is why you need Kazee. Or not Kazee. I mean Sutton. Kazee's the only one I'm really comfortable with back there. Like I said, Justin Simmons is out there.
I
If
see. I
that's
don't know. I don't know if the safety's the issue though. I think the safeties might be just fine. I think it's the cornerback.
yeah. I think if we get him out there, that's another ball hawk in the secondary that can't hurt. But
Right.
you get Simmons and Sutton, now we're cooking.
See, I think I might be asking a little too much. I mean, we're building a
Yeah,
team like
we
on
are.
Madden.
Yeah,
This
I
is
know,
this is
I
like
know.
franchise, but I've never
Yeah,
seen anything like
and
it.
that's what this is salary cap's killing me right now, trying to figure out how to get all these guys in on value.
And somehow Omar Khan is managing to get every single player that he put.
Yeah,
I mean, a big
yeah,
name pops up and he just grabs them.
yeah,
Again, this
uh,
is like franchise mode on
yeah.
Madden. I've
And
never
that's like
seen this.
that big money contract to Alex Highsmith is hurting us right now. Like if it was like for like $5 million less, we would be in a whole hell of a lot better shape.
Even
Yeah, I know.
after the
I even
reconstructing.
after the restructuring, but he's still getting paid that money. We still got to fork it out somewhere down the line in the cap space. It was too much for him. And Cam Hayward's contract's killing us right now too. Because imagine like if we had cap space freed up there, we would be able to maybe renegotiate or negotiate with some of these guys that we want, like a Tyler Boyd, give him a little bit more to bring him here. And maybe Justin Simmons, if we're talking to him, give him a little bit more to get here, but we're paying all that money to Cam Hayward.
All right, let's talk third stringers on the defensive depth chart. Some of these guys will be on the team. Of course, you're going to recognize these names. You're going to say, "Oh yeah."
Yep.
Defensive line looks like this. DeMarvin Leal, who I think is certainly had the potential. I don't know what his deal is. He
Yeah.
needs to pick it back up this year,
Yep.
Mike. He fell off. I thought 2 seasons
Yeah.
ago, I thought he looked good.
Oh yeah, his rookie year, he's on thin ice,
Yeah.
very thin ice.
Braden Fajoko and also Logan Lee. Logan Lee
Yeah.
from the draft this year.
I think Fajoko, like they're high on him. Like I said, like Craig Wolfley loves the way he plays, and O lineman giving D lineman praise. You have to be doing something right.
Our linebacking core looks like this on the third level. Mike, the outsides are David Perales and Jeremiah Moon.
Huh.
Our inside linebackers are Tyler Murray and Mark Robinson. The corner, or I'm sorry, your secondary, it looks like this, Mike. Luke Barku and Kalon Barnes are your cornerbacks. And your safeties are Jalen Elliott and Miles Killebrew.
I like Killebrew, special teams ace right there.
Yeah, I don't know if I like him when it comes down to stopping the pass in a big game. But
Yeah. If he
you know what? He's a good special teams guy.
Yeah. Like he filled in like one game where he made a play in the secondary. I think we were like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But like you said, on a consistent basis, no, he's there for special teams. Yeah.
And finally, Mike, the special teams, Derpy, special teams. Here's your depth chart. Cameron Johnston is your punter. I'm sorry. Place kicker, you got Chris Boswell, and you have Matthew Wright coming into at least in the camp. We'll see what they do with Matthew Wright.
Yeah.
Long snapper, Christian Kuntz, of course. Your holder, Cameron Johnston, the punter. Kickoff is going to be Chris Boswell. Punt returner is listed as Calvin Austin III, and kick returner listed as Cordell Patterson, which I like them. I mean,
I like that.
You got some speed on them return game.
Yeah.
I like it.
And Patterson has the most return touchdowns, or tied at least with Devin Hester. I think he might have one more. So not bad.
So guys, let me read you our 25 starters. Okay.
Yeah.
11 from defense, 11 from offense, 3 special teamers. Here it goes, guys. Starting on offense, George Pickens, Van Jefferson, Roman Wilson, Troy Fatanu, Isaac Siamalu, Zach Frazier, James Daniels, Broderick Jones, Pat Fryermuth, Russell Wilson, Najee Harris. On defense, Ogunjobi, Benton, Hayward, Watt, Highsmith, Queen, Roberts, Joey Porter Jr., Minka Fitzpatrick, Dante Jackson, Deshaun Elliott. In your special teams guys, Cameron Johnston, Chris Boswell, and Chris Kuntz. Mike, that's a pretty good football team.
Yeah, that's a good top
really
25 right there. Top 15 roster?
I think so.
15, 16 in that range?
I think better than that. I don't know why the weight is holding this team down in a lot of people's opinion. I think this team's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
especially considering, again, you went 5-1 in the division
In
last
division,
year.
yeah. And I know it's cliche, but Mike Tomlin gives you 9 wins.
You're right.
I know we poo poo on that, but the more or less you figure out we're gonna find a way to win 9 games. We won 10 last year. We have to figure out a way to win at least 2 to 3 more off of that nine, based on what we have, especially going off of quarterback play. And yeah, we took a step back in the receiving core, but in the long run, it might be better. You know, Roman
I
Wilson
do.
might be the guy that he seems like he's not going to be a weird guy like Deontay Johnson was his
I do want to
last
say
three
on the
years here.
board also good afternoon to P. I was on another I was on another page. Good afternoon to you, sir. Guys, so there you go. That
Yeah,
is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are right now. That's what they bring to the table. This team, Mike, that's come camp, those guys we named first, second, third tier, with an
yeah,
exception of the back end names. This is going
yeah,
to be what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. This is going to be our
yep,
53. This is going to be 53 plus practice squad. Mike, so let me ask you.
yeah.
Here's the additions that I would like to see
Okay,
upcoming. I would like to see Cam Sutton be thrown back into that secondary.
yeah,
I would like to see Marcus Golden be back to back up
yes,
the outside linebackers,
hmm,
either side. I wouldn't mind if Shandell Sullivan and Pat Pete came back just for
yes,
the bodies in the secondary.
yeah,
And finally, we absolutely 100% need that wide receiver.
yes,
So I want to see Cam Sutton. I want to see Golden. I would be okay with Pat Pete and Sullivan. And we need a wide receiver. Those are my five. What do you think, Mike? I see. I'm not so big on that safety position, which you are, but that's all right.
yeah.
Who do you think? Who do you want, Mike, to complete this roster at the moment?
I, excuse me, like you said, I want Golden back.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely right there because Mike, I'm surprised no one's picked him up yet. If we can get him cheap, I would take him.
And we should
Um,
be able to.
yeah, Cam Sutton, like he made like what 10-11 million dollars last year in Detroit. I'm sorry, you're gonna come in for the what after what you did, and you're gonna come in on the vet minimum because you might be suspended. They
And
can get him on the vet
right.
minimum. I will take him. Same thing with Pat Pete because Pat Pete won't be playing a lot. I would count on more on Cam Sutton, and I kind of want, like I said, I get what you're saying with like safety is good, but if you can get another playmaker like Simmons, I would love to get him. But
It's
that's a
almost
pipe
like
dream.
piling on with
Yeah,
this Justin Simmons idea.
yeah. But I think it would be you would have a really good, really that would bolster that secondary more. But really, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver.
Yeah.
But like, or is
Hey,
Tyler Boyd going to be the guy on the outside? He's been more slot in his career. Or
I
if
tell you what,
Omar
well,
could
I'm
always
sure
swing
we'll
a big
find
trade.
out. I'm sure we'll find out here in
Yeah,
about 15 minutes after we go off the air.
yeah.
I'm sure that's when the big news will
Yeah,
come out. Everybody else will talk about it for 24
yeah,
hours. Then we'll come back and be like, oh,
yeah.
that was new
I
news.
yeah, it might be an underrated look, but I'm not comfortable with our defensive end depth.
Yeah, I
Like
get
I
it.
know like we make fun of Cam, Ogunjobi's getting up there, but you know what you're getting out of them. And if they go down, I don't trust the depth behind us, like Lowry and who else we have back there. I just don't trust them. But there's really no one out there that I'll be like, yeah, we get this guy, we're good on the depth. But I think that might be the weak spot where we're at, but there's no one to improve that position. So for me, it's cornerback, outside linebacker, wide receiver, and if we can, as a luxury, my boy Simmons.
Yeah, that's when it turns into Madden.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think when you
yeah,
bring in, because now it's like you're just getting all top players from top positions and just,
yeah.
just taking them all.
But yeah,
It's all, I mean, come on. I
but
don't know.
more depth in the secondary can't hurt you.
If KZ wasn't still around, I would be all aboard. But you know what? Him playing second fiddle to Elliott, I'm okay with that because
Yeah,
I thought KZ played that he was a good
yeah,
hitter last
yeah,
year. And as long as he stays healthy, I think he's
yeah,
a productive player.
yeah.
So
But
I'm not so strong. I'm not so big on that strong safety position. I don't think that it needs much work. But again, we did get torched last year in the playoffs, and we
yeah,
don't want that to
and
happen
that's why
again.
I'm like
So
you have someone back there too who can play center field as well. 'Cause I'm just picturing, Simmons and Minka back there just ball hawking, and the other guy's thumping.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Be nice. Be
Derpy,
Madden team.
Derpy, is there anybody that you would like to add? You know, who do you got in your mind? I know you always like players. I know that you're always shooting over names and things like this. Who does Derpy want to be on this team?
Simmons. That's
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
what I'm talking about, Derpy.
And is that it?
Well, I mean, I think this team is solid right now, but I would like Simmons.
Okay. We need a receiver too, right, Derpy?
Receiver, yeah.
Yeah. Why does it sound like Darth Vader every time Derpy turns his?
I know, right?
I don't know what that is. Uh, but there you go, guys. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers, top to bottom at the moment. You're not going to get much different than this, guys. This is probably about, you know, 51 of the 53 people that will be
Yeah,
signed on the
yeah,
roster. So we'll see. As I said, I expect a big move here. I hope,
yeah.
you know, Derpy sends me this message yesterday that there was a big trade on the way, and I was like, oh man, I was kind of busy. I said, keep me posted. And I thought for sure when I got done, Derpy would have something for me. No, I
Nothing.
came home, nothing.
Nope.
I followed it. I went from TV to social media to browser to TV to, and I did that for about 8 hours. Now I realize it's not going to happen today.
No,
So maybe it'll happen today. Maybe
maybe.
we'll get our guy.
Yeah, and you never know, man. Like after the draft, maybe people start making cuts early before even training camp gets here.
Yeah,
You never know, and that's the thing too, man. Once training camp starts, and then you get that final cut down day, who's going to get cut? Because there's always those surprise cuts, even before and in the middle of training camp. Guys get cut. You're like, why did this happen? So
right.
we still have plenty of time until opening day. Opening day. Oh my god. I mean, until regular season kicks
Well,
off.
Mike, today is the last day of April, which makes this the first third of the year knocked out.
Yeah, it's
So
coming close. I want the season to start now.
you figure the Steelers season ended in early January. It's already
Yeah,
May tomorrow.
yeah,
So season will be here fast. No two ways about that.
yeah,
Some other things going on, Mike. The Sportsnet launches SNP 360. It's a
yeah.
direct consumer streaming service for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Pittsburgh Penguins, and this service is going to cost $17.99. Mike,
Well, they should have made it 1776. Come on. Why you people hate America?
I are people going to pay to,
I don't know because it's
I watch the Pirates because they're on and it's cheap and it's free and it's
yeah,
sports store and even I don't it's almost $20. That's a little pricey, I think.
yeah, and it's I don't see like all the pirate games are televised anyway, aren't they?
Right.
Here in the area, so I don't get it
You get
at
like
all.
two that are blacked out a year. Who cares?
Yeah, I mean it's the Pirates.
Oh, you talked me into it, Mike. So let's talk about the Pirates.
No,
Um,
No.
Pirates lose again last night to the Oakland A's, the worst team in the league. Yes, the A's, almost soon to be the Pirates. This time last year, the Pirates were 20-8. Right now, they're 14-16. After having a bunch of key additions back added to the team, this team manages to still struggle. A's again, they're 13-7 right now. The Pirates had 2 hits. They managed 2 hits against an A's team last night. That's not a very good team. Key Brian Hayes and O'Neill Cruz, they get the only 2 hits. They play game 2 of 3 tonight at 9:40 against the A's. Probables are Mitch Keller comes in with a 2-2 record, of 5.14 ERA, and 32 strikeouts on the season. He's going to be facing Alex Wood, who comes into the season or into the game with a 1-2 record at a 6.59 and 25 Ks on the season. Falter did all right last night. No, he did
he got
terrible.
rocked.
5 innings pitched, 6 hits,
Yeah.
five
Yeah,
earned runs,
5 earned runs. Yeah,
5 strikeouts, no walks. But here, check this one out, guys. This is the interesting statistic for these Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates have lost 11 of their last 14 games. 11 of their last 14 games. Scoring 2 or fewer runs in 10 of those games.
How well our offense was doing too.
scoring 2 runs or fewer in 10. And that includes also a win that they had where they only scored 2 runs, a 2-1 win over Milwaukee. I'm so through with them. Mike,
It is bad.
I
It's
just
bad. It's terrible.
it makes no sense how they're so bad. As I said, like last year, you're 20-8.
Yeah.
You get O'Neal Cruz full time back in your lineup. You have Henry Davis full time in your lineup. You get Jared Jones in your
Hmm.
rotation. You bring Michael A. Taylor. There's no way that this team should be that much worse than they were last year. It just
No.
makes no sense. And to say maybe maybe just maybe they're running into good teams or they got their asses beat by the A's. They got 2 hits
Two goddamn hits.
against the Oakland A's. They lose
Yeah.
5-1. I can't take
Yeah.
it.
Like our pitching. So last year, earned runs per game last year, we were giving up 4.5 runs a game. I was like 22nd in the league. This year, our pitching staff they've improved. They're up to 11, 3.73 runs per game.
Yeah.
That so and then the offense, you know, what that was on pace to do so well last or at beginning of this year, just can't do shit. I don't know what's going on with
At
this
some
team.
point, the bats need to start. I mean, come on, they're not
Yeah,
hitting anything.
they
I
can't
don't.
do shit.
How are you so bad at hitting all of a sudden?
Yeah, runs per game, we're down to 3.87. We're 23rd in the league.
We were 5.5 runs
Jeez.
there for a while, and we were feeling pretty
When did
positive.
when did the league season start here? I can't remember.
Beginning of April, end of
Yeah,
March.
so on April 16th, we were at ninth in the major leagues at 5.29 runs per game.
Mm.
And today we are averaging 3.87 runs a game.
So there you go, guys. This
Offense,
year,
offense, offense. We
this
were all
time
worried
last
about the
year,
pitching.
the Pirates were 20-8.
Yeah.
Now, after a bunch of improvements, another year under their belt,
Yeah.
at the end of the first month, they're 14-16.
It's insane. We were all worried about how the starting pitching would do this year. And
Do I
it's the
dare say it?
bats. 162, Derpy.
162.
Yeah,
162.
Derpy has room to talk because his team's in first place and they
Yeah.
have the best record in the league. I don't want to talk to Derpy about baseball for a while. Uh, Also, guys, if you like baseball, Pitt in West Virginia plays the Backyard Brawl at PNC Park today at 7 o'clock p.m. It's going to be on ESPN2 if you're interested in watching, or you can get down to PNC Park and watch the game. Again, the Backyard Brawl of baseball between Pitt and West Virginia this evening at 7 o'clock p.m. Hopefully, the rain stays up long enough for these two teams to get the ball game out because I do think that we're going to get some rain this afternoon,
Yeah.
and it just may poo poo that. But we do have that coming. Mike, why don't you go and tell everybody about the website, man?
The2dumyinzers.com. The2dumyinzers.com over there. I have all of our social media links for Ryan and I. We got the merchandise store and we got the blog over there, all at the2dumyinzers.com. And if you're over there too, there's like a message thing pops up. You can ask us questions in there and it shoots over to our email. And our email address, if you just want to do it that way, is TWODUMYINZERS, 2dumyinzers at gmail.com.
There you go, everybody. Go check it out. The website is www.the2dumyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumyinzers.com. Right, guys, the trivia question of the day, it's an Omar Khan question.
Ooh.
So, Derby, put on your thinking cap. Mike, everybody on the board, here we go. Question of the day goes as this. What year did the Steelers hire Omar Khan? Question
Ooh.
mark. That is the question of the day. I'm looking for a year, guys. What year did the Steelers hire Omar Khan? Think that over. We are live, everybody. We're live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, right here, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The show that we do live, the brand new show that we do live every single day, gets uploaded over on Spotify and podcast form at 8 o'clock p.m. If you missed the show, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you just have your earbuds in and you're just doing stuff around the house, you could always go over to Spotify and check out the brand new episode every day of the Two Dumb Yinzers on Spotify. Check it out. All right, guys, here we go. The question of the day. What year did the Steelers hire Omar Khan? Simply A year. I need no explanation. I just need to know what year the Pittsburgh Steelers hired Omar Khan. Derpy, let's start with you. Derpy, what year was it that the Steelers hired Omar Khan?
I'm just gonna give a guess. I'm gonna go with 2019.
2019. Is this your final answer?
Yes.
All right, let me go ahead and lock Derpy in. 2019. Good. Michael,
Mm-hmm.
what year did the Steelers hire Omar Khan?
I'm gonna go with 2014.
2014. And is that your final answer?
Final answer.
All right, guys. 2014, 2019 is what Mike and Derby said was the year that the Steelers hired Omar Khan. Question of the day: what year was Omar Khan hired by the Steelers? In 2001, he was hired as football operation coordinator. 2011, he was
Ah.
moved up to director of football administration. 2016, he was bumped up to VP of football business and administration. And in 2022, he was bumped up to GM, which makes the year that he was hired, guys, 2001.
Oh,
Omar
it's
Khan,
close.
2001, was hired by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I would have not been anywhere close to that
Yeah.
if I would have had a guess.
Yeah, because I knew he worked his way up the team, and he was like the draft or the salary cap guru for a long time.
Yeah, a lot longer than most people think.
Yeah, yeah, because I remember like you'd hear his name. Oh, Omar cooking the books. Omar's finding money. Omar's getting blood from a stone, and then he just kept getting more and more responsibility. Yeah, so yep,
So we like Omar. Go
Yeah,
Omar.
I've
Omar's GM
yep,
of the year, Mike. I
yep,
would think
yeah.
so far.
So
But
far,
according to other people that do shows across our area, some may say that things like this are meaningless, such as grading the draft this early. Some of our people out there say that that's meaningless, which I think is crazy because it's talk radio. It's talk.
yeah,
You're talking about sports. I he kind of irritated me the other day. I seen he has immediately grading the draft as meaningless, but the Steelers got an A, which
yeah.
you know what? It's just that's
Like
just his
like
stupid.
on paper grade, yeah, it's an A, but you don't know the true grade until 4 years
But
down
you
the line.
have to grade
You
now.
have to,
Right? You
yeah,
grade now. You grade during the season. You grade after the season, and that's what sports
yeah.
talk is.
Yeah, it's a constant evaluation of
That
what the team's
that
doing.
fuck. I'm sorry.
It's a
Well, the
constant.
unfortunate thing, he makes people think he
Yeah,
says shit like this, and then he makes other people think that, and it's not.
yeah,
If you're gonna talk,
yeah,
if you like sports, you're gonna talk about every single.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, because he's like, okay, did we get the needs filled on paper? Did we fill the needs on paper? Did we get the
And
best
it's like then he
guy?
comes back with the Mr. Obvious bullshit. It's like, well, you
Yeah,
won't know until a few. Well, no
yeah,
fucking
exactly.
shit.
You
You
don't
won't
know, but
fucking know until
yeah, I know that too, but I'm still going to grade on what happened
right.
now and then tell you, yeah, I'm not going to know for sure if I was right or wrong until down the line.
And
So,
like I
but yeah,
said, I
you can
mean,
only
and he
grade,
dictates the way people think, and it's
yeah.
annoying because then people come along and say, "Well, that don't matter." Well, fuck you then.
No,
Fuck you.
it does matter because you're building, constructing the roster, and it's like, does this player with the skill sets that he has now, does he fit in with what we need now and down the
Right,
road?
right.
Yeah, yeah, because you're evaluating these guys, what they can do down the road, but also what they can do now too. And now the guys we
He's
drafted,
such a double edged.
yeah,
He talks circles, and it's
yeah, he
so
talks out of both sides of your
he
mouth.
does talk out of both
Yeah,
sides of his mouth to
and
make
if
himself
people,
always be to
yeah,
make himself always sound like he knows what he's talking about.
yeah,
But all he's doing is basically stating obvious,
yeah,
making
yeah, yeah, you're hedging his
obvious
bets.
statements, and then switch come up from both sides, so he
Yeah,
can't lose. I
yeah,
can't take him. I can't.
yeah. 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 And like everyone who pays attention to sports knows you're not going to know until 3, 4 years down the line, but you can still grade it on now. Because, like I said,
Why wouldn't you?
yeah,
At the end of
did
the
they
year
fill
when you're getting your
needs?
report card is the only thing that matters because it'll tell you if you got
Yeah.
advanced to the next grade. But you're gonna want to know and see how you're doing after the
You want the
first nine
progress
weeks,
report.
the
Yeah.
second 9 weeks, the
Yeah.
third 9 weeks, and you're
Yeah.
gonna evaluate.
And that's
Of
what
course,
this
you look at
is.
those things. You
Yeah. Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah. Because
I'm sorry,
on
Derpy.
paper, even you
Cover
can
your
say
ears.
like 3, 4 years ago, our drafts weren't graded that high at the time. And you look at them, there were a lot of misses in those Kevin Colbert's last two drafts.
Again, this is just somebody that's a talking head here in Pittsburgh. I'm not even going to mention his name, guys. I do want to say thank you to everybody for checking us out today. We appreciate each and every one of you. As always, we couldn't do it without you. We want to thank everybody on the board. As always, always keep things interesting.
Yeah.
P, stick around for 1 second if you will till the end of the show. Mike, anything before we get ready to take off?
A wide receiver was released, so now everyone's saying he's coming to Pittsburgh. Zay
Look,
Jones, baby.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Zay Jones.
I
You
was
stole
just
my
going through-
thunder.
Yeah, I saw that. Like, every receiver now, whether they're good or bad, is coming to Pittsburgh.
Derpy, anything for before we get ready to take off, man?
Mike stole my thunder. Hope everyone has a great day.
All right.
Go Steelers.
All right. My thing is this: Lakers get bounced from the playoffs in the NBA, 4 games to 1, and I keep seeing everywhere. This is the in this year's playoffs. At this moment, moving forward, there is no Steph Curry, no LeBron James, and no Kevin Durant. So, if you're following the NBA, those are pretty big names to all be bounced from the first round. So it's going to be interesting to see things moving forward because those guys are becoming the old guys in the
I
league.
know. Like,
It's wild, man.
They got walkers and we got walkers.
Yeah.
That's like talking to dude at work. I'm like, LeBron's pushing 40, Steph's pushing mid 30s. Like, I'm not old. They're old.
I do want to say, P, I don't know if you caught the show yesterday on the board, anybody else on the board, anybody who's listening. We did, we are experimenting with doing some call-ins through Zoom. If interested in the future, moving forward when the show's on, if you were interested in calling in, shoot us a message. We'll shoot you the link for Zoom, and you could call in and you could choose to leave your camera on or turn it off. Totally up to you. But as I said, we are moving toward that area. We do want to be able to talk to people on the show. So moving forward, say tomorrow, if you're watching the show and hey, I want to ask these guys a question in person, then you could send us over to our email, Mike, right? The email, is that the best place for you to
Yep.
You have your eye on it through the course of the show just in case?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So go ahead and just go to the email, type in www.2dumyinzers.com, and then we will shoot you directly back. We'll shoot you the Zoom link. You just tap on that and you could come on again. You could leave your camera off, you could turn it on, but you would call, it would be as a call-in. So CP is on the board. Anybody else who's listening and watching, if you do want to do that moving forward, I have some ideas. We're going to be able to do it a lot easier moving forward, but that is where we're at right now. So keep that in mind. I like to talk to everybody. So if you want to give us a call, so to speak, you can do that. But anything else, Mike, before we get ready to take off, dude?
I got nothing. Just thanks again, everyone, for watching.
Absolutely. Derpy?
I got nothing. Same thing what Mike said. Thanks for everyone for watching.
All right, guys. Keep your eye open because we are hoping to pull a wide receiver at some point today. Everyone's just excited. I mean, whether it happens today, whether it happens next week, I don't know, but we're super excited. Everybody knows we need that receiver position filled, and we'll certainly be keeping our eye on that. The Buccos back in action tonight. They play at 9:40 game 2 against the A's. And again, if you want to make your way down to PNC Park today, you can see Pitt play with West Virginia baseball for the backyard brawl. That game's at 7:00 p.m. And again, moving forward, if you are interested in giving us a call, just shoot us an email during the show and Mike will shoot you back a link to the show and you can participate. P says, cool beans. I'm usually pretty faded when I hear you, man. I just wanted to throw it out there because I know that you are a regular and I do want to give you that opportunity. So we talked to Ron the other day, who's also a regular on the board, and he had a lot of fun. So I wanted to throw it out there for anybody else as well. That opportunity is there. But guys, I think that's it for me. Yep. I think that's it for you guys. All right. Well, everybody, for Derpy, for Mike in the Steelers Central Mobile Studio, myself, the two Dum Yinzers, everybody have a great day. Keep your eye open. If we grab that receiver, I don't know who it's going to be, but Brian McFadden said it's a player of significance. So very interested to see who that is going to be.
Yes.
For the two Dum Yinzers, I'm Ryan. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.